Hi guys, it's Amy here, and today I am going to be doing an art room, art station sort of tour. So just before I begin, just a couple of disclaimers. First off, I know I have a lot of art supplies. I actually used to work in a craft store, so I bought a lot of these stuff on discount. I also am a grown-up. I'm 28 years old, so I've had a long time to accumulate all this stuff. And on top of that, I also do arts as a living. So I draw, I crochet and sell toys, and I also work, I've just started doing some contract graphic work. So between all that, I have a lot of supplies. The other thing I'd like to point out is, I know I'm going to get a lot of comments because I have an entire room for my art. I am not rich. I am very much the opposite of rich. The place that I rent came as a combo deal, so I sacrificed having a decent sized bedroom for a massive art room. Bedroom just fits my bed and my dresser and a small bookshelf. But the other side is I get an art room. So yeah, and the house is a piece of crap as well. But, you know, it's good. So let's get started. So here is the door where you enter. And then this is what I spend most of my days looking at. This is my print wall. There's quite a few different prints on here. You'll see the free watercolour ones there. They are Lavoin, I think that's how it's pronounced. Then I have some by Alex XZ. I have one by Sacco M's. That watercolour there is actually an original that got sent to me in an art trade by the lovely Shaw Likes to Draw on Facebook. And then these three are Pencil Butter, and I actually have a couple more to put up there by Pencil Butter that are from her Patreon. So yeah, that's sort of my inspiration wall. You can see very clearly what I'm inspired by. People's faces. Just want to show the detail on this one. I love this. This is a watercolour, by the way. I am amazed by anyone who can control watercolour like that. Then, this is the couch where I sit and crochet. You'll see pretty much straight away that I crochet in this room because of all the stuff that is crochet. That I crocheted. That is just called a star granny throw. It's super easy if anyone's interested in making it. That is just pixel squares put together in the shape of a heart and turned into a pillow. Real easy. And then this is a porcelain doll from my childhood that has travelled with me all around the country. So yeah, I've always loved her for some reason, even though I don't like peach. Then there's this print here. I have no idea who this is by. My dad actually found it at a garage sale, and I kind of have a love-hate relationship with it. Sometimes I just love it, and I love the detail in it, and sometimes I look at it and I just hate the incorrect proportions. So it hasn't made it onto my wall yet. I haven't decided. I don't know. I'm kind of in a not quite happy with it mode. But I still love her eyes. There's something about her eyes. So yeah. This is my view, which is kind of pretty that side until you start looking at that side. And then you see part of the crappy house. This is something I actually found at a market. It's a mobile. It's really pretty. Makes gorgeous sound. It's actually made from recycled beer bottles, which I thought was really neat. So yeah, just a random market find. Pretty flowers, all fake, because I'm allergic to real ones. Because I also use my art room as a dining room, this cup is just filled with like ketchup packets and salt and pepper stuff from, you know, when you go to restaurants and they give you the packets and you have the leftovers. Before anyone gripes and says, oh, you shouldn't steal them. I used to work in a fast food restaurant. I know because of health and safety standards that if they give you those packets and you leave them on your tray, they have to throw them away. So they're going to get wasted. So I take them home, put them in a cup. And even when I'm having dinner, if I forget my pepper, I don't have to run upstairs because I've got it all there. Right, this is the fun part, and the part that I guess most people want to see. This is actually my desk set up. So you'll see straight away it is not a desk, it is a small kitchen table. I need the space. I work really large. And this is my tripod, how I set that up. So it's actually leaning against the table on an angle, and then I've got a couple of little clips in here to hold it in place. I also have my webcam for streaming on the front there, so my camera usually sits up here and then the webcam is there and it all points down onto my work. And then for lighting, these are just cheap desk lamps. I've got one there and one up there. and they are fitted with daylight bulbs so that I get all the good light for when I'm drawing. It's coming around to the side, so this is normally what I look at while I'm drawing, hence why that's the print wall. This is the drawing mat. It's actually a quilting mat that is just been flipped over. Nothing special about that. Laptop, mouse, phone, planner, cheese box which holds all my Faber-Castells and a jelly roll and sandpaper and sharpeners and razors. Makes it portable too because I have to take a lot of stuff to markets with me. Power board, more flowers. Lamp, like I said. These are just some stickers that I use to decorate my sketchbook and my planner. And, you know, stickers. These are all my Pro markers and Flex markers. Starting to get quite a collection. I'm quite happy. The containers that they're stored in are actually, I found them at the warehouse, which is sort of our version of Target, I guess, or Walmart, and they were ugly wood, so I painted the edges and then covered them in scrapbooking paper, made them look all pretty, and pink one has the pink tones, blue one has the blue tones, so yeah. On top of that is my box of Prismacolors. Kind of regret not getting the tin. I got this one, but I wish I got the tin, it would have been so much more portable. Big Hero 6 pencil case contains all my pencils and stuff that I grabbed for the market. So there's like Vivids and a couple pencils, a couple razors. Basically means when I'm on the go, I know everything's in there, so I can just grab that, throw it in my bag, and I've got all my drawing stuff. Next shelf up, you see I like buckets. First bucket contains biro pens, and I actually found some liner pens, which I didn't even realise I had when I was tidying up. So yeah, pens are all in there. Various biro, ink type pens. Second bucket is just pencils, graphite pencils, couple of mechanical pencils. Little A, flower, rose quartz, technically my flatmates, but for some reason it lives down here. I don't mind. These are just like the knockoff, they're not ink pens by Stadler. Fine colours? I don't know. Someone will know what I'm meaning. But yeah, they're just knockoff ones, just like all my jelly pens as well, and glitter pens, and just various coloured pens, and a white chalk pen. Little bird my aunt gave me, original by Pencil Butter. She's kind of overtaken my room. I don't mind. Oil dispenser. That container there contains my new polychromos pencils for when, like, you know, I need to replace one. In the bottom, not that you can probably see, but there's a bunch of really, really little ones in there. The retired pencils. Don't know what I'm going to do with them. They're just in there. And you can tell by the colours that lots of black, lots of greys, because that's what I'm going through. I've got 3 more whites coming as well. These are Mr. Potato Head figurines. I don't know why, but I love these. I love these so much. They make me so happy. I want to get the big ones. Background to the other side. That blue tealy bucket, that is paintbrushes. Purple bucket is crochet hooks. These are just the crochet hooks that I use frequently. Tape measure, Tunisian crochet hook, Afghan crochet hook. My felting tool, which I need to buy new needles for. Then the last little bucket is just like crochet notions, like, you know, stitch markers, needles, stitch counters, stuff like that. So yeah, that used to have to live all on my desk. And for anyone that's curious about the shelves themselves, they are really, really cheap brackets with bed slats. So the first one is screwing in on these ones, same in that one. These ones back here are not screwing in though, they're just loose. So yeah, my mum changed her bed. Yeah, they're just mints and something that I need to remember, so got that there. Anyway, under the desk I have my rubbish bin and another extension cord. Awful chair. This is a jar that was made for me in another art trade. It's full of dream quotes. I've always loved it. This is quite new, this bookshelf. Hopefully it's not too dark. This is just holding all my papers and stuff. So I've got my sketchbook, and then under there I've got smaller A5, A4 size papers. Then all my A3 stuff lives on the bottom. That's also drawing I'm working on, but yeah. just various papers like watercolour, some marker paper I've just brought, scrap paper, just, yeah, papers. This here is a folder that just contains my finished drawings. Yeah. This normally doesn't live here. This is actually prints and stuff that I use for markets, and some originals I've bagged up to take to market. So that doesn't normally live here, but it's here for the moment. Ugly, ugly outside view. Cleaning supplies. I use wet wipes just to clean. Screen cloth, fly spray. Nothing exciting. This is a lot more exciting. Well, for me. Yarn. Yarn, 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 yarn. So like I said, I used to, well, I still do make toys as part of my living. So I have a lot of yarn. I also used to work in a craft store that stocked a lot of yarn. So I used to get a lot of yarn. And on top of that, people would just give me the yarn. It's like, oh, I'm never going to use this. Here you go. So, yeah. So these shelves here are primarily all acrylics. In fact, I think they are all acrylics. And mostly all 8-ply or double knit. All sorted into rainbow colour order. And yeah, so I've got the main colours of the rainbow down that side. Then I've got browns and peaches, blacks and whites and greys. That is all like rainbow colour mixes. That shelf has got some 10-ply sort of stuff, 10-ply, 12-ply, chunky stuff. Bottom shelf is baby yarn, which is all 4-ply. So yeah, that folder contains some massive, massive paper, like some A2 and A1 size papers, and a couple of drawings that don't fit anywhere else. This wonderfully organised bag is just full of power cords and adapters and my external hard drive, and yeah, I need to get that into a box or something, but at the moment the bag works. This part is a part of my room which I still need to organise. This is all yarn. This is what I mean about people giving me yarn. So what will happen is they'll get to the end of a skein and they'll have that much left over, and they'll be like, oh, it's still useful, but it's not useful for me because I only knit clothes or something. So they give it to me. And because I'm making toys, it is actually very useful. But the problem is I've kind of amassed a collection. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes. That bag is also full of little balls. And then the plastic bags that you see around are actually various works in progress and stuff like that. Yeah, I had planned to actually sort that out before I did a room tour, but I just didn't get to it. So yeah, yarn. I have yarn problems. Next shelf, this box here is actually some of my childhood toys, which I've held on to. Rather, my mum held on to for many years. There's some other toys in there as well that I've got over the years, like a Beanie Baby and stuff, but there's like a couple of vintage Barbies and like little Cabbage Patch dolls that were from McDonald's, and yeah, I thought about putting some of these out on display, but at the moment they're just in the box. So, random teddy bear. I got that again from work. It's one of those Christmas bears which are like $20 just before Christmas, and then after Christmas it goes down to $1. All I did was like unpicked the Christmas hat and then unpicked the date from its foot. And I got this really cute, really fluffy teddy bear. So yeah, cheap finds. Problem with working at a craft store, you find all the amazing stuff. This is all candy. Yeah, I like sugar. Behind that is some random containers. Don't know what I'm doing with it. Those are actually all the drawers from what I keep all my markers in. I saved them. I've painted the edges. I'll probably cover them one day. But yeah, that was the ugly colour of the wood when I brought them. It's so bad. It just looked ugh. Light bulb box, so I know what light bulbs to buy, and these the small ones from my lamp. Toilet paper. We ran out of toilet paper here, more than I care to mention. Alright, next shelf is all books. So this pile here is all art books. You'll see that pretty much every book on here is an ex-library book. I just pop into the library each week, see what they're clearing out, and buy them, because they put them out for like 50 cents or $2, so it's great. I love this one. This one is really cool. And yeah, these just neat pictures. I've got some of flowers as well, because, you know, good to have flower references. These first two, spiral bound book here and this book here, are scrapbooks that I made. This one is just of different photography things I did. So I did a course for 3 years, and one of my majors was photography, and that's sort of like the culmination of all my photos. So yeah, I'm not going to go through that. And yeah, that was one that I made when I was about 15, I think. It's quite cool. I like that one. Underneath there is some what's the word? You know the books when you go to like a musical and stuff? They give you can buy their books. That's the books. So yeah, there's a couple of them in there. I haven't been to a lot, but I really do love musicals. I just can't afford to go to them a lot. And then there's a bunch of magazines. So there's a couple of photography ones, a couple of Corel Painter, a couple of Imagineer FX. They are quite old. They're from 2007 to 2009 because that was the last time I could actually afford them. And then on top of that is all crochet books. And one random knitting one that my aunt brought me. But yeah, one day I'll learn to knit just so I can use that book. Oh, nose is starting to run. Right, this here is just colouring books. I love colouring books. These ones are all like adult, on that one too, are adult colouring books. And then these ones are the kiddie colouring books that I used to collect before colouring books became cool. So yeah, there's like Barbie and Disney Princess and a Spider-Man one. I still colour them because I'm awesome like that. Random tray from a market. Don't know what I'm doing with it. This is actually business stuff. So this is for, we've just entered a new tax year, so this is my new stuff for the year. Tax is fun. A couple of comics. I don't have a huge comic collection. Little Superman and Wonder Woman. I've just started getting these. This is the DC Comics graphic novel thing. They've just released this in New Zealand, so every week they release a new book. Every 2 weeks, sorry. And I brought the first two, and I really thought they were quite good, so I'm getting that each week now. It's one of the few things I treat myself to. And then most of these are actually Strangers in Paradise, which was the first real graphic novel series I got into, and Red Team, which I actually found, and yeah, it's like $45 comic. It's like, sweet. I did look for the owner, I just couldn't find anyone. Right, top shelf. This mayhem is all market stuff. So for those that don't know, I go around to markets, I sell prints and toys, and that's how I make the majority of my living. So I've got a lot of crap for those. So those wine racks I used to use to display a bunch of toys on, used to display hats on there. I don't actually make hats anymore. This is actually my cherry pie logo that I crocheted. I love that, it's so cute. That's for putting cards in. I need to take that with me to the next market. I need to take that bag as well. Old tech stuff, notebooks that I've brought to draw on, some old artwork. That box is just full of like all my lights for night markets and stuff. This is bunting that I crocheted with cherry pie in it, because I used to only do crochet at markets. The prints took me a while to bring my art out, to be confident enough to bring that out. So yeah. Those two things are banners, and then there's some random wrapping paper up there because it keeps it out of the way. Over to this side, that top shelf is all polyester hobby fill, polyfill, toy stuffing, fluffy stuff. Yeah, I have so much of it because it was on special. I got 4 bags for the price of 1, so yeah, I stocked up. Pretty good. I had 6 of them all up, so I'm down to 3. Not bad. Alright, this shelf here is pretty much all gaming electronic stuff, so PS Vita and DS boxes. Games and consoles actually live in my bedroom, but I just keep the boxes here. Behind there is my original webcam box, PS2, and also my original Xbox on top, or there, I don't know, one or the other. Piles and piles of games, like hundreds of games for both Xbox and PS2. It's ridiculous. Plastic bags for putting in my rubbish bin, sewing machine bits, and a really, really old tablet that a friend brought for me. It doesn't last time I used it, it hasn't worked, but I haven't tested it in like 5 years, so I probably should look at that. And then that box just contains my guitars for Guitar Hero for PS2. Alright, this section here, vacuum cleaner, heater, clothes rack. There's no room to store them in the bedroom, so they get stored there. Sewing machine, that's just been given to me from my nana. It's like from the 60s or 70s. It's quite an old one, but it's awesome. Top box there is more yarn. It's all my like really chunky stuff that I use for doll hair. And then this big bag that you see on top is actually full to the brim of felt, which I use for details and stuff. Then the bottom box is actually just full of fabrics. There's currently 7 meters of 2 Pokemon fabrics in there for dresses. So yeah, I'm not going to open it up. That sewing machine is freaking heavy to move. Right, this side is a blocking mat that I use for stretching out crochet to make it sit properly. It's just a rubber mat. This is, I think you guys call it core float in America or something like that. I don't know. It's basically a bunch of advertising from my dad's work that I use behind originals for packaging in up at markets and when I post prints, just to secure those in place. So yeah, just a bunch of it because he gets tons of it for his work from advertising. Ironing board, that is a piece of cardboard that I used to draw on before I drew on that. Up the top here we have 2 guillotines. One is that big old style guillotine with the big handle that you raise up and swing down and is terrifying to use. And then just a little paper trimmer. The plastic forks are because I actually lost my blocking pins. I have no idea where they've gone and I had to block something that day. So on a whim I brought 2 packets of plastic forks and attempted to block with them and they worked surprisingly well. So yeah. Also if I forget my fork I've got emergency forks. Alright, this cupboard is full of stuff as well. So the top shelf is all sewing stuff. Behind here there's a big bags of buttons and embroidery threads and sewing patterns. And then this is all like your sewing notions like scissors and needles and chalks. This is all cottons and stuff for sewing. Then up here we have like bows and magnets and just random little things in those containers. There's about 6 of them. This is actually just chocker full of more crochet hooks. They brought all those ones before I found those ones with the really comfortable handle. So, because you know I crochet all day, it helps to have a comfortable handle. So I use those ones more now. But I have in that thing every size from like 000 right up to 12mm. So I can do from like sewing cotton thread size right up to super duper thick. The container here, this is just full of googly eyes, safety eyes, little heart noses, different things for amigami. That holds knitting needles. It's lost an eye. It's meant to look like a monster. Need to replace its size. Giant knitting needles. I don't actually knit, like I can kind of knit a scarf. That's the total of my knitting ability. This shelf is all drawing stuff, so these 2 containers contain my student quality pencils, again sorted in blues and pink tones. I don't know why I have a thing, so it's always like reds, orange, yellows, pinks, and then it's always like purples, blues, greens and blacks. I know, I've always sorted my stuff like that. Pack of soft pastels. I actually hate using soft pastels, but eventually I'd like to get into dolls, like doll customs, so I'll keep those. Random pack of crayons. I thought it might be fun to do some crayon art one day. This container is all felt tips. Behind it there's another container that contains like pins and screwdrivers and lighters and just random tools. A couple small rulers, things like that. This container here contains a couple of pastel pencils, some oil pencils, a couple of like knockoff alcohol markers that I brought to try. Yeah, that's just a bit random. Container under it is graphite pencils, and then down the side here and under that is a bunch of notebooks that I use for just scribbling notes in. This is business cards. I have to order more of those. I had 8 boxes, I'm down to 1. Those are the Patreon prints from Pencil Butter that I need to frame. Underneath there, that box is just like cards, so thank you cards when people commission me for crochet, and different cards when they commission art and stuff. Tubes, isopropyl alcohol, still haven't opened it, and then there is matte fixative and workable fixative behind that. In this shelf it's mostly beading, so 2 small containers on the bottom contain seed beads, and then those are like crystal style beads, and then there's various beads in that canister along with my pliers and stuff like that. Doll stands, you use them to hold up dolls at markets. To have them there for some reason, they probably should be with my market stuff. Circle template next to that. Chanel sticks or pipe cleaners, depending where you live. Again, go into crochet, make bendable arms, same with that wire, it's just paper covered wire. This box has like salt for watercolours, masking tape, sellotape, a couple of glues, some glitter. These were again in an art trade, someone actually painted this, so no, it's not perfect, but I've always really loved them, so I've never brought myself to use the glitter from these. I love Beauty and the Beast, it's favourite Disney movie. Love Beast. I think that one was done really well. Right. Shelf under that. So these are all acrylic paints, and then watercolour set on top. Palettes at the back, pearlescent watercolours, small palette, glues, varnish, retarder, mediums, all that sort of stuff. Indian ink, all lives in there. So pretty much anything paint related. Bottom shelf, the big black box at the bottom is all scrapbooking paper, and then the box on top of that contains a bunch of old photos. Blue folder is crochet patterns that I've written. The visual diary is not an old art diary, there's a couple of sketches in there, mostly written out crochet patterns. These notebooks here are all full of pretty much crochet patterns. The wooden box under that is what I used to keep my pencils in, and then under that is just a folder with a bunch of legal stuff. Yeah, and birth certificates and stuff like that. Bunch of certificates. This is a mannequin from my grandma. Again, it's from 70s, I think. It's pretty old, so just for a scrap over it, so no one can complain about you-know-whats. Then we're up to the pin board. All those little pearlers were made by Alien Tonics on Twitch. I actually won one, and then I commissioned him for the rest of them while he was at it, so he gave me a good price. So they live on my pin board. I think they're so cute. And that was made by a guy at a market that I found, and I just painted on top of it, and it's not quite finished, but I like it. Then just random notes, crochet pattern, ACC stuff. I fell for a deck, so I've got to keep that. Yeah, stock take stuff for tax and business. Fun. And then we're back at the door. Yay, I kept it under half an hour. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this tour. I really love people's workstation tours, so hopefully you guys did too. Any questions, let me know. Yeah, and if you guys have a workstation tour of your own, post it below, because I really love watching them. I'm kind of nosy. I mostly like seeing how people store their stuff and seeing what I can steal for myself. So yeah, have a good day guys, thank you for watching, especially if you made it all the way through, and I'll see you in the next video.